Hello, movie friends. Welcome to Honeybee Twist. Who doesn't know the adorable little blue alien who loves to cause mischief? Today, we're going to dive deep into one of Disney's most heartwarming and unique animated films, Lilo and Stitch. Grab your snacks, because we're about to explore the adventure of Stitch the alien and Lilo, the little girl who teaches us the true meaning of family. In a faraway galaxy, on the prosperous planet Turo, a loud emergency alarm blares, signaling the start of an emergency session of the Galactic Council. Dr. Jumba Jukiba, an eccentric scientist with 4 eyes and a sly grin, stands before the council. He is accused of conducting illegal genetic experiments and creating the most dangerous creature in the galaxy, one he names Experiment 626. The council sees 626 as a monster with no empathy, designed only for destruction, while Jumba proudly claims it is the most powerful weapon ever made. The Grand Councilwoman, a wise and firm leader, tries to understand the true nature of the creature. She poses a sharp question. If this creature is truly intelligent, could there be a spark of goodness inside it? But before the debate continues, 626, shown on the screen, growls hoarsely, "I never asked to be born," before hurling insults at the entire council. Silence falls, and the decision is made. Jumba's lab is destroyed, Jumba is thrown into prison, and 626 is sentenced to exile on a remote asteroid. However, during transport, 626 escapes. With unimaginable strength,
Forbids being gross. Don't make me say it. Uh-oh.
he tears apart the transport ship, hijacks a patrol craft, and blasts into hyperspace. His destination, a small blue planet, Earth. The system fails to stop him. His ship pierces the atmosphere and crashes on the island of Kauai, Hawaii, a peaceful land now about to host its most chaotic guest. The council panics. The solution? Destroy the planet. But Agent Pleakley stops them. His reason? Earth is an official wildlife preserve. For mosquitoes. Yes, you heard that right. Mosquitoes. As a compromise, Jumba is released with one condition. He must recapture 626. This time, he isn't alone. He is accompanied by Earth expert Agent Pleakley, a one-eyed alien who believes Earth is inhabited by half-cow, half-boys, and filled with bizarre fashion trends. Meanwhile, 626 wreaks havoc inside his ship. The craft crashes into Kauai. He survives, feeling free, until Zap, Jumba's tracking device, shocks him. But 626 is too clever. He jams an electric cable into his own neck, cutting off the signal. Pleakley panics, but Jumba stays calm. Where there's chaos, there's 626, he says. Sure enough, 626 steals a buggy, crashes a party, devours cake, and wrecks everything in sight. He bolts onto the highway. Crash! A bus hits him. Dazed, he tumbles under the wheels. A frog stares blankly. 626 faints and is eventually taken to the animal shelter. Meanwhile, Jumba and Pleakley land on Earth, disguised as humans, beginning their hunt. On the beautiful Hawaiian island, we meet Lilo Pelikai, a lonely, imaginative 10-year-old girl who lives with her older sister, Nani, who struggles to act as her guardian. Lilo has no friends. Her classmates mock her as Trash Girl. Things reach a breaking point during hula class when, out of frustration, Lilo shoves one of her bullies, getting herself expelled. At home, more trouble brews. A social worker named Mrs. Kakoa visits, judging Nani unfit to care for Lilo. Mrs. Kakoa gives Nani an ultimatum. Within 1 week, the house must be clean, the fridge stocked, bills paid, and most importantly, they must have health insurance. If she fails, Lilo will be taken away. This weighs heavily on Nani, who once gave up her marine biology scholarship to care for Lilo. Amid the chaos, David Kawena, Nani's good friend, who secretly loves her, always tries to cheer them up. One night, Lilo spots a falling star streaking across the sky. She drags Nani outside and makes a heartfelt wish for a true friend who will always be by her side. Unbeknownst to them, that star is Experiment 626, crash landing on Earth. After wrecking a wedding and getting run over by a bus, he ends up in the shelter.
Okay.
At the shelter, 626 realizes Jumba and Pleakley are after him. He overhears Pleakley reminding Jumba not to harm humans on Earth.
I know I can catch him if I use my blaster.
It's too risky. The Grand Councilman was very clear. You can't hurt the humans.
A clever plan forms. Use a human as his shield. He retracts his extra limbs and spikes, disguising himself as a dog. When Lilo arrives, she is immediately drawn to the strange little dog. She adopts him and names him Stitch.
Perfect. Yes. Stitch!
I need you to listen.
At first, Nani protests, but finally agrees, if Lilo takes full responsibility. From then on, Lilo and Nani's lives change dramatically. Nani, already struggling, must now deal with the chaos Stitch brings.
Oh my god, control him! Did you?
She even takes him to her job at a luau resort, but disaster follows. Fascinated by fire, Stitch sets the buffet table ablaze, costing Nani her job. Lilo, seeing Nani's despair, tries to cheer her up, but Stitch realizes his jokes no longer make Lilo laugh. Meanwhile, Jumba and Pleakley keep trying to capture him, disguised as tourists.
Okay, we gotta get closer. Okay.
Lilo tries teaching Stitch to behave, but it always ends in hilarious failures, leaving destruction behind.
Make amends.
God, you said it! This hotel. Wait.
Nani, exhausted, begins to consider returning Stitch to the shelter. Lilo insists on the meaning of Ohana. Family means nobody gets left behind. In frustration, Nani snaps, "Our parents left us, Lilo."
Look, can you just get control of your dog?
At the same time, Cobra Bubbles, a mysterious CIA agent disguised as a social worker, starts monitoring them. He suspects Stitch is not of Earth. Secretly, he collects a sample of Stitch's fur for analysis, gathers evidence, and contacts his headquarters, though his request for direct action is denied. Meanwhile, Lilo and Stitch slowly grow closer. She teaches him small acts of kindness, like cleaning up and returning stolen toys.
Okay, we gotta...
Hey.
Stitch, once indifferent, begins to care. Lilo shares how Nani sacrificed everything for her, and how much she misses their parents. When she asks if Stitch has a family, he looks down.
Did you have family? Family?
No, I have nobody.
They're there for you, even when...
No family.
Lilo shows him her family hula photo, kisses his nose, and for the first time, Stitch feels a real bond. But peace doesn't last. Nani gets a job as a surf instructor, something she truly loves. Lilo and Stitch join her at the beach. Inspired by a dog surfing, Stitch becomes obsessed and tries it himself. He's surprisingly skilled, but chaos strikes again when Jumba and Pleakley show up. In a wild move, Stitch accidentally causes himself and Lilo to fall off the surfboard. Terrified of water, he instinctively tries to use Lilo as a flotation device, nearly drowning her. Although David and Nani manage to save her, the incident devastates Nani. After taking Lilo to the hospital,
She asked if she could ride.
Mrs. Kekoa appears with a chilling proposition. If Nani gives up custody of Lilo, the government will cover their medical expenses. Nani's heart shatters. She knows it's the only way out, even if it means losing Lilo. That night, Nani tries to talk to Lilo about the difficult decision she faces, but Lilo already senses it. She isn't angry. Instead, she tries to comfort Nani by talking about their parents. Lilo says softly, "You're like my mom now, and you've done such a great job." At that moment, Stitch, overwhelmed with guilt for being the cause of all their problems, makes a heartbreaking choice. With sadness, he leaves the house and returns to the animal shelter, locking himself in. He believes he is nothing but a monster who brings destruction, and the only way to save Lilo's family is to disappear. The next morning, Lilo realizes Stitch is gone and rushes to the shelter to find him. There, she discovers Stitch curled up in a cage, broken, convinced he is a monster. Sitting beside him, Lilo gently tells him, "Stitch, you're not a monster, you're not bad, you just sometimes do bad things." She reminds him once again of the meaning of Ohana, that family doesn't have to be perfect. But the emotional moment is shattered. A dimensional portal bursts open and Dr. Jumba steps through, this time without Pleakley, and determined to capture Stitch by force. A fierce battle erupts. At first, Stitch, burdened by guilt, doesn't fight back, but when Lilo is threatened, he tries to protect her. Jumba, however, overpowers him, tearing the house apart. When Jumba finally pins Stitch down, he spits out cruel words that cut deep. "This family is ruined because of you. You only used that girl to shield yourself." Crushed, Stitch gives up. He walks willingly toward the portal, not realizing that Lilo follows him. On board Jumba's ship, the scientist reveals his twisted plan. Not to destroy Stitch, but to upgrade him into Experiment 727, a far deadlier weapon. Outside, Nani, David, and Agent Cobra Bubbles arrive at the ruins of the house. Pleakley, still disguised as a human but shaken by the chaos, finally admits his alien identity and reveals that Lilo and Stitch have been taken aboard Jumba's ship. At that moment, Cobra receives a call from the lab confirming that Stitch's fur sample is indeed extraterrestrial. With all the proof laid out, Nani and David plead with Cobra to forget protocol and act immediately to save Lilo. Meanwhile, aboard the flying ship, Lilo and Stitch work together. With Lilo's guidance and Stitch's cleverness, they outsmart Jumba, trap him, and eject him into the ocean. But the ship itself is badly damaged and begins to plummet. As Lilo and Stitch prepare to leap, a strong gust blows away the only photograph Lilo has of her parents. Without hesitation, Stitch dives to retrieve it. He grabs the photo just as the ship slams into the ocean. Among the wreckage, a wounded Stitch sees Lilo trapped underwater. Overcoming his greatest fear, he dives to rescue her. But Stitch can't swim. Lilo struggles desperately to lift him, but he's too heavy. When Nani arrives, Lilo screams at her to save Stitch too, reminding her once more of Ohana. Realizing their family will never be whole without Stitch, Nani makes the ultimate sacrifice and dives back down into the dark waters. With her last ounce of strength, Nani manages to drag the unconscious Stitch to the surface. On the beach, David rushes in with a defibrillator, but it doesn't work. Lilo, frantic, hands him an electrical cable instead. Everyone hesitates, but there's no time to think. Cobra clamps one end to Stitch's hand, Tudu presses the other to a car battery, and Nani revs the engine, sending a jolt through Stitch. The moment becomes living proof of the power of Ohana, each of them fighting for one another. In a surge, Stitch gasps back to life, stunned to see the loving faces gathered around him. Just then, the sky splits open, and the massive ship of the Grand Councilwoman descends onto the beach. She demands Stitch be handed over. Stitch, realizing he has no strength left and that his time is up, steps forward. But he doesn't go quietly. He turns back, looking the Councilwoman in the eyes with heartfelt sincerity, and delivers a farewell that breaks everyone's heart. This is my family, Stitch says, pointing to Lilo, Nani, and David. Small and broken, but good. Yes, very good. The councilwoman, deeply moved, sees the genuine change in him. She pauses, her stern demeanor softening as she begins to understand the true power of Ohana.
Yeah.
Grand Councilwoman?
Just then, Cobra Bubbles steps forward, not as a social worker anymore, but as a CIA agent. He explains that Earth is a protected wildlife reserve, and as a representative of its government, he testifies that Stitch has changed, that he now belongs to the Pelikai family. Touched by both testimony and the emotional bond before her, the councilwoman makes a wise compromise. She cannot overturn Stitch's sentence of exile, but she can choose its location. And so, she declares that Stitch's exile will be served on Earth.
I'm so happy!
Of course, yeah.
Pleakley is also assigned to remain, serving as the family's alien liaison. Together, they form a unique but loving family. Nani resumes her education, Lilo thrives with her sister and David, and Stitch finds his true home. The film closes with warm scenes of this unconventional family, built not from blood, but from love, sacrifice, and acceptance. They have all discovered the true meaning of Ohana. Family is not perfect, but family never leaves you behind. And that's the full recap of Lilo and Stitch. A story that reminds us family doesn't have to be perfect, but they will never abandon you. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And turn on the notification bell so you won't miss more fun film recaps from us. See you in the next video.
It has bars on it. Hello?